I spent over 40 hours or more interviewing. I had over 50 interviews during my job search journey. Now, this may seem like I was actually lucky because very few people are as lucky and blessed as I was to land so many interviews. Oftentimes, we apply and nobody responds. You don't get a right back. People just move on. However, in as much as I got so many interview invitations, in as much as I spent so much time interviewing, while you are in it, it doesn't seem as glossy, especially if the outcome that you want is not the outcome that you get, that is getting a desired job. So doing interview after interview after interview, getting rejection after rejection, you get to that point where you have what we call interview fatigue, because you're like, why am I doing this? So even when you get the next email, you go like, not another one is gonna be wasted. But I want to talk to you about how I gained the most out of the interviews. In as much as I didn't get jobs, for the greater part at least, I was able to gain so much from the interviews. And here is what I learned. A while back, I read a book, No Rules by Reed Hastings. Now, Reed Hastings is the co-founder at Netflix and currently the chairman of Netflix. And he mentioned that one of the company's strategy at Netflix is they encourage employees to take interviews outside Netflix. Now, that's obviously rare and it doesn't happen everywhere. Now, when I read that line, I knew that there's indeed something within interviews. There's knowledge. So personally, during my job search, I changed my mind. I told myself, in as much as I don't get the opportunity I will use interviews to make myself smarter. I mean, you never put it to waste if I walk away smarter from an interview. So I told myself I will use interviews to learn more about companies, learn more about industries, learn more about roles, and that is exactly what happened. Tell you what, I came out of the interview process very knowledgeable about key industries because having interviewed for a number of companies. I mean, think with me, as an example, I interviewed for over 10 companies within the fintech space across Africa and Europe and the US. Now imagine the breadth of knowledge. Now, how did I get to that place of knowledge? By asking the right questions during interviews. What are the questions that you're asking when you take an interview? Now, questions are twofold. There are questions that are going to show that you're passionate about the role. There are questions that are going to give you insight into the role and the company. But there are also questions that will make you smarter. And that is how I structured my questions. Now, usually for every single interview, the interviewer will ask, do you have any questions for us? I've seen so many candidates go wrong. You're like, no, I have no questions. Some of them go ahead and ask, when do I start? I mean, that doesn't matter. You can, however, use that question segment to become smarter. Some of the questions that you could ask, as an example, to the interviewer, I mean, what are some of the trends that you see shaping the industry today? Listen out to the interviewer keenly. Hear out their answers and write them, document them. Another smart question that you could ask, what are the challenges that you're facing in the problems that you're facing every single day? Hear it out and document. Another question you could ask, where do you see the industry or the trend in the next 2-3 years? Really brilliant questions. And for every single answer that you could get, write it down, document it, and establish a pattern. Before you know it, you have a breadth of knowledge and you're walking away from interview smarters. Tell you what, the biggest part of interviews is not getting a job. The biggest part of interviews is getting the right information that may not necessarily give you a job today, but will position you for an even better opportunity in the future. So please don't put your interviews to waste. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe.